Me and Woody have been on a walk this morning, and I'm about to go home and make some soup and invite Katie down to have some soup with us. This is a recipe I've never made before, but I always love trying new recipes. This is going to be ground deer meat and kale soup. There's going to be some other vegetables. It calls for ground beef. I actually don't have any at the moment, but I've got a lot of ground deer meat from the deer that Austin have got this season so far. We're just enjoying being outside. It's not too cold. It's rained here, so the air is kind of damp, and it's, I don't know, just smells really fresh out, and there's some sunshine, and it's just always fun to go on a walk. Now, we primarily use the ground deer meat for Olive's dog food, but we eat some of it too, and it's really good to put in soups and just different recipes. We don't really make burgers out of it because it's not mixed with enough fat for that. And every time I'm walking our driveway, it makes me think about when I was pregnant with him. And it was the middle of June, and I would come out here. I would try to come in the mornings because it was so hot. I would come out here and just walk the driveway over and over and over and over, trying to go into labor. Of course, he was a week late. He was 7 days late. But every single time I walk this driveway, that's what it makes me think of, and I wonder if I will always think of that. I've got the deer meat browning in the pot. This is really my favorite soup pot. It's actually one of my only soup pots, and this was one that I found at a yard sale that me and Katie went to. This has been a good while back ago. It's before either one of us were pregnant, and we heard about this yard sale, and it was a decent ways out of the way for us, kind of in a neighboring town, actually kind of going out of that town into the next one. And we thought, well, we'll go because it was a group of people who did estate sales for you, if that made sense. Like if your house was going to sell and you wanted to sell things, there was this organization who would come in and do it for you. And so we just thought one day, well, we'll just go and investigate. And it was so cool. They had all kinds of neat things there, and I got this big pot there. It's a visionware pot, and I like visionware stuff. If I find it at thrift stores and places, occasionally I'll buy a piece. And then there's a piece of furniture that's in the living room in there that I also bought at that yard sale. At the time, I was looking for just the right size piece of furniture for our old house, and so I got that. And it was really cheap and really well made, and so was this pot. But every time I cook in this, I think back about that, and it's good memories. So I'm going to let this brown for a while, and then I will move on to the next part of this recipe. So the recipe actually calls for 2 cups of cooked pureed squash. I'll just be honest with you, I don't have time for that. So I do have some cans of pumpkin, and I'm going to use that instead. So pretty, that orange color there. So now I'm going to take the meat out and do the vegetables. This deer meat really doesn't hardly have any fat, so there's not going to be a lot of fat left behind. So I'm going to have to add some to the pot to do the vegetables in. What I'm adding is actually some ghee mixed with some coconut oil. So Katie is not doing dairy right now, but she has discovered that she can eat ghee because the milk protein has been boiled out, and everything has went okay with that. It doesn't seem to hurt Ira's stomach at all. So I'm going to use some of that, and then it's a really good source of fat, and ghee is really good to cook with. It's super rich and usually leaves a really good taste, or has a really good taste, I should say. There are my vegetables. That's some carrots and potatoes and onions, as you can see. Now, the recipe called for half a bunch of kale. I'm not really sure how much that is, so I'm just going to eyeball it and try to remember that kale shrinks any kind of greens do. So I'm just going to eyeball it and add me some. This is cooked down pretty nice. I kind of wish I had added some extra kale because it cooks down so much when you cook it, but that's okay. I might throw in a little bit more since this is going to boil for a while. So now I'm going to add the garlic and cook it for a little while. That smells so good. I can really smell the garlic in it. Now it's time to add the pumpkin and the liquid. So this is beef stock, and then it's actually chicken bone broth. And then I'm going to add the meat back in. The recipe calls for 2 to 3 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. So I think I'm going to do 2. Oh, I hear the baby in there. He must have woke up from his nap. And I'm going to add just a little bit more salt. And then I think I'm going to add just a little bit of ground coriander, because that usually gives things a kind of sweet taste. So now this needs to simmer for about 10 minutes and it will be done. This looks really good. Kind of strange though. I hope that it will be good, since I've never made this before. What will be really good, I bet, is to add in just a little bit of rice or a quinoa, some kind of grain. Alright, I'm gonna let this simmer and go check on the baby. We don't know if this is really gonna work or not, but we're gonna try. You can hear the toys in the background. We've got the boys in baby jail directly behind us. They've got toys they're playing with. We hope they're playing with them. And we're gonna eat some soup Corey made us. I don't know how long we're gonna be able to do this. It's really good. I mean, the soup, I've already had a bite, but it's really hot. That's why I'm holding the bowl like this. No, Olive, don't do it. She's trying to kick the tripod, the phone stand. Don't. We really want to film this video, but the toys are competing, and I know it's going to pick up on the video really well. I'm sorry. The toys are driving me crazy. I mean, they are me too, but I'm trying to entertain these boys. This is good. It's strange. It does. It has a strange flavor, but it's actually really good. Ira's standing up looking at us. Corey, the soup is delicious. Thank you for making it. This is deer meat soup that Corey's made us. It looks like there's potatoes in there, carrots, onions, kale. What did you use for a base? I see you. There is pumpkin and beef stock and beef bone broth. So hot. It's really good. These boys are just like, oh my God, playing and jabbering. So this deer meat stew is really good. Speaking of deer, Dad killed a deer this morning. I heard the shot. He was hunting above the house. I heard the shot while I was in the kitchen. Corey said she'd just come in. She heard it. And I think that's so funny. On the day that you chose to make deer meat soup, Dad just happened to go deer hunting and kill a deer. That's so funny how that works. Yeah. Yeah. When me and Woody took our walk this morning, that's where we had just come from. We were visiting Dad and seeing the deer that he had killed, and then it was kind of fitting that I was planning on making this deer meat soup today, considering he had killed a deer. And this is some ground meat from a deer that Austin got this year earlier. It's really good. The soup has a really interesting flavor, but it's really good. It's different. When I very first took a bite of it, I thought, this is nasty. No, it's not nasty. And it wasn't the recipe, honestly. It's probably because I used pumpkin puree instead of squash, but that kind of made it taste different, which is good. I think it's really good. And it's hot. Corey made this, I saw, in that glass pot on the stove. I told the story about where it came from when we went to the yard sale. What's the yard sale was that again? Going outside of Hazel. Remember we drove Austin's truck? I don't know where he was at. That's right, we did, didn't we? I don't know where he was. Maybe he was deer hunting. At work. He would have had his truck if he was hunting. I think it was the summer. Yeah, that's true. If he'd been deer hunting, he'd probably at work. Woody has learned to blow bubbles, so he's working on that. Hey, Woody. Take some of this. This is so nice. Thank you so much for making me a hot meal. Oh yeah, and we've got a big pot of soup, so we can eat on this for several days. Oh yeah, that's what I love about making a big pot of stew or soup. It's something that you can continue to eat on. This is perfect because today it's kind of warm. It's probably like 60 degrees. But tomorrow, and starting tonight, it's going to snap off cold and the wind's going to blow. So this is going to be like warm your bones, hearty. We've had an unseasonably warm fall thus far, but I think that's about to change. So When I think about the hurricane people having to live outside, I'm thankful it stayed warm.
I am too. Hey, buddy. I'm still thinking about the hurricane victims, Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene for that reason. Praying for all those who are affected. We're going to put in the description to this video down below. I talked about this in one of my other videos, but we're going to put it in this one too. Because this reminds me of Thanksgiving. This is kind of a hearty soup for this time of year, holiday season. And there is a Facebook page that I talked about where you can adopt a family for Thanksgiving or Christmas. And you can support them in their needs. Whether it be they can't afford to do Christmas for their kids or grandkids, or whether it be because they just need items that their home got, items that got lost in the destruction of their home, I guess. And when their home got destroyed, they lost them. If you want to support those families, there is a Facebook page where they have started that. The families in need are posting an Amazon wish list and describing their situation. So it's a great place to go to help individuals, and it's a nice thing to do during this holiday season, not to forget about them. So the link to that page will be in the description below. It's a private group. You join it. You state whether you need help or whether you want to give help, and the rest is self-explanatory. You'll understand that. And it's for the families of Western North Carolina. I'm not sure if I said that, but so find that below.
Speaking of holidays, yes, Woody.
These boys are getting with it, y'all. Woody's got his bib on his face.
He'll give him a second to pull it off, because that's kind of his new trick. He'll probably
put it there on purpose.
He does, yeah. Speaking of holidays, it sounds like you've got some new stuff in your jewelry shop you're working on.
I feel like I've been really unladylike eating this soup because the kale, it's kind of big, so I just got kale hanging out of my mouth.
I know.
This entire video.
It came chopped, but I should have cut it.
This entire video, everyone's going to be like, we can't watch it because of Katie's kale dangling out of her mouth. It's disturbing. People are going to be grossed out.
Listen, on these videos, y'all, we get a lot of comments that say basically that they like us, but how dare we chew with our mouth open at how rude it is. So if you can't stand it, just click off. Go find something else to watch.
The kale's for you. Speaking of my shop, yeah, I have some holiday stuff. In years past, I've been able to do a lot of holiday themed stuff.
Keep going.
I see what's going on here. If you just lay it down, I think the temptation to pull it over will be okay. And in years past, I've been able to do actual holiday themed stuff. Christmas trees, snowmen, or the pumpkins for Halloween. And I'm still able to do some of that. I'm just not able to do a lot in the volume that I've been able to do in the past. So I'm going to try to do some Christmas trees, going to try to do some snowman, holiday themed stuff. I just don't know about the volume, how much of it I'll be able to do. And last year, I believe it was, I did some enamel. And I really missed that. And I really want to continue to do some enamel work. But I don't know how much of that if I'll be able to do either this year, or if I'll be able to do any of it, because it's a longer, in one way it's a longer process, and it takes me a longer amount of time to wrap my mind around. So the other stuff just is easier for me. But I've been doing some, speaking of deer, since this video is about deer meat, I've been doing some deer themed stuff, because I love little nature things, you know, working in animals and flowers and that kind of thing. So I'll work on it for the holiday season. You can keep your eyes out, and hopefully I'll be able to put some snowflakes and snowmen and that kind of thing in there. Yeah. Definitely more deer, because I've got on a kick of working with deer lately, so.
Yeah. This time of year is kind of heavily deer related for us.
You know something, it is. And that's something I never knew I'd be so thankful and so grateful for, because the deer provide food, it provides nourishment. There's so many good things that come from it. Of course, if we ever kept the hides, we have done that in the past. You could keep the hides, you can.
That'd be awesome.
There's so much that you can do with it, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that.
One thing I would love to do eventually is get the fat off of deer and make soap out of it. And the deer that Dad was processing this morning had a lot of fat, but the baby was sleeping on my chest in the carrier, and I'm just not at a place where I'm like, oh, let me get this deer fat real quick and render it.
I saw that, and I thought that was really interesting, because these mountain deer are pretty lean. They don't usually have a lot of fat because it's a real competition for resources. There's not a lot here to begin with. The physical terrain makes it harder on them to survive. Now, we've had some pretty mild winters as of late, so as far as weather conditions, it's not as hard on them as it was or has been in the past, I'm sure. But the mountain deer do tend to be leaner because the living's hard on them. But if you get a deer that's been into a good acorn crop, if there's a good massed crop, ooh, Woody, he's agreeing with me, then you might have one that's got a little bit more fat on it, and I bet you anything that deer's been sitting in the acorns.
Yeah.
These boys are just wild. I'm sorry, I said it
They are
before.
wild.
Corey, thank you for this soup. What a blessing. Thank you. It's so good.
You're welcome.
I love the flavor.
I'm glad you like it.
I really do. Thank you.
Got a whole pot full.
We're excited. We've got some interesting holiday themed videos coming up. I just hope we can. It's hard sometimes to pull stuff off being busy with the babies. And that's been a goal. One of my goals when I had Ira was to the extent of my ability, I guess, continue to do YouTube. Because I love doing it for y'all, for me, because I like sharing my life, but I wanted to continue to kind of be there for people and continue to reach across those friendships that we've made, and we've been able to do that, and I'm really thankful for that. So hopefully we'll be able to come out with some of those holiday ideas we've got, because I think that'll be fun.
That would be awesome. So I hear that you brought us dessert. Okay, I'm gonna get that and cut this toy off. Because I don't even have hearing because I'm so used to hearing it, but I'm just afraid it's gonna be so loud in this video.
Oh, it drives me crazy. I know. For dessert, Coy's eating a muffin that I made. This muffin is almond flour, coconut sugar. The recipe called for eggs. I did not use eggs. I used flax eggs by soaking flax meal and water. You can replace probably up to 3, 4, 5 eggs in a recipe with that. But the more that you replace, the funkier the texture. So this muffin, it didn't rise a lot because the flax egg makes the baked good very dense. So what I should have done, and I just didn't know it, is until after the fact, is probably added a little bit more baking powder. But that's funny because I don't guess I could have done that. This come from a muffin mix. So I bought the mix and brought it home, and then you add the eggs, the water, and the oil. I use coconut oil. So I bought some coconut flour, and I already have some almond flour, and I'm gonna try to make the recipe myself. They're banana muffins, by the way. And do it a little bit differently, and I think I can probably perfect it and get it to where it's more of a crumblier, kind of airier texture, but it's still good. It's spongy, kind of
I
soft.
like the sponginess, yeah.
I told Corey they're jelly muffins, and they're not jelly muffins. But that's a video that I'll probably make if I can tweak the recipe. I'm gonna have to kind of borrow from a few to get my ratios right. But that way, there'd be banana muffins. These boys like to fake us out. Would be banana muffins that anybody could eat around the holidays with dietary restrictions, because they'll be wheat-free, dairy-free, egg-free. That's something I wanted to do this holiday season. Maybe at least get to do 1 or 2 recipes like that. If there's anybody else who's like, man, the holiday season's hard for me because I have all these diet restrictions and it sucks and I'm hungry and I want to eat the food that everybody else does, but I can't. So maybe that's something I could provide, is a recipe or 2 that's good, that would fit you. And this won't be forever for me. It's just for now.
Yeah.
But they're not half bad, are they, Corey?
I love them. I really like them. I've been not eating that much sugar lately, so I'm like, whoo. They're not overly sweet, but it's really good.
Wait, you're super in a hurry.
I hope I don't have kale in my teeth. I probably do.
Should I have kale in my teeth?
No.
You didn't got it in yours either. That'd be something to do this entire video, and after I got done saying, I don't care that the kale's falling out of my mouth in this video, to have it in my teeth, everybody'd be like, that's what you get, Katie, for making light of eating with your mouth open.
Thank you for coming. This has been really nice.
No, thank you.
I've enjoyed doing this.
He's thinking you too.
Oh, this is nice. It's been a really nice day.
Olive is just begging for some. Sorry.
Well, all of these.
I don't think you would do the soup.
No, she doesn't need the soup, but she eats her fill of deer meat because that's what she eats. We had run out of deer meat, and so there was just a few months span where she's been having to eat ground turkey or ground beef, and she doesn't like it. She likes the ground deer meat, so we've got a lot in the freezer right now because, excuse me, there was a man that Austin and his dad hunt with who just didn't, he just gave the deer to them, and so that's nice. So we've ended up with an extra deer so far.
That's awesome.
That's great because Olive loves the deer meat. It's really good for her. It's extremely cost effective. So I'm sorry, we've looked behind us 57 times, but
That's what you do with babies.
that's
The watchful eye.
Yeah, you can't take your eyes off of them.
Always watching. I finished my soup and I made some spiced apples. I think that was yesterday. So I'm going to go and get some and warm them up and that's going to be my dessert. I really like spiced apples.
I think we're gonna leave you guys here.
Yeah, better wrap it up. God bless you.
Yeah, God keep you. Thanks for watching.
We'll catch you at the next one.
Bye.